we do multiple level of iterations with our customers also. It may look very fancy as a word that you are the founder or you're the co-founder of the company, but it takes a lot of blood and sweat to run an organization. And those are the initial life lessons which I always remember. Those days are gone when uh, India was said to be a back office place for most of the companies.
Hello and welcome back to the latest episode of GIBS IRE Talk Podcast powered by GIB Business School, a place where innovation meets inspiration. And I am your host, Dr. Preeti Garg. Unlike a decade ago, it is not easy to get hired and also hire the best employees anymore. Today, we have multiple levels of verification, filtering, and whatnot to ensure that whoever we hire is capable of taking up the role efficiently. However, in such a fast paced world, it is difficult to find people who dedicate their time for so many levels of test and task. But we also have various platforms who can do it for you within no time. So, with the best qualified candidates, one such platform is Zyoin. Zyoin is one of the fastest leading and growing staffing and recruitment solution providers. And we have with us today an expert to this industry, Mr. Rakesh Ranjan, co-founder and COO of Zyoin Group. So, welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome for.
Welcome.
So, thank you for accepting our invitation. I would like to ask you a very basic question. What was your life, initial life, and how was your education and your family and all?
Great, great. Thanks for inviting me here.
Yes, sir.
So definitely a very interesting question. I was born in a small village in Bihar, and my father was a farmer. And my initial education started from a primary school in my village, and then I moved to different part of Bihar in quest of better knowledge, and that's how I started. I did my schooling from Bihar, then I moved to Delhi University, and I did my graduations from there. So that's
Okay.
the on terms of my education part. I think what I learned during my village days were the most important thing. And I started realizing that farmers and entrepreneurs are very similar. You know, the amount of risk which both of them, a farmer takes, or the amount of risk which an entrepreneur takes, without knowing the final outcomes, is imperative. And I learned from all my fellow farmers in my village, along with my father, that no matter what is the weather condition, you have to work hard. So if the demands are to work hard, and you have to do that, whether it's the intense sunlight, whether it's a rainy day, whether it's the winter of December and January. And those are the initial life lessons which I always remember whenever I go up the ladder, or whenever I talk to different kind of people.
So, what inspired you to co-found Zyoin, and what are the main factors that were driving you to think about it?
Mhm. So, well, I think after completing my education from Delhi University, uh, I was looking to do something on my own, and in that quest, I joined Zyoin. I have not founded Zyoin initially. I started as a employee over there, and then became the co-founder. And what made us to start Zyoin was when in 2008, when we started, we saw a big gap between skill and talent, and we also saw a big gap between new companies setting up their centers in India and the talents attraction towards those companies. So back then in 2008 and 10, there were no big startup histories which were written. right? And we primarily started focusing on let's help all the startups or whosoever is setting up their centers in India in hiring the right talent. And that's where the Zyoin incepted. And because when you talk about 2008 and 10, that ecosystem was like that, wherein I would rather join a bigger company because there were no good success stories about smaller flip companies like Flipkart who were setting up their centers in India. So that's what made us to start Zyoin, and that's where we wanted to bridge the gap between newly setting up companies to help them in hiring the right talent and slowly ensuring that the gap between the employer and candidate can be minimized, and we continuously worked on that.
Any significant observation that you had during this journey, during this recruitment journey, during your experience in recruitment?
Yeah, I think in last decade and a half, we have seen recruitment evolving a lot. Uh, I remember how the pace of recruitment has increased at least tenfold in last decade and a half. What used to take 6 months to complete now are getting completed in a month's time. And I'll give a few instances. You know, earlier the cycle of recruitment used to be very long. Traditional companies, because the growth pace was very organic for them. And then the companies, the startups, like Flipkart, InMobi, a lot of companies like Udan came to India, and they wanted to achieve something which traditional companies to achieve in 30 years, right? For example, what Flipkart achieved in 10 years, I think they are close to $26 billion valued company now, right?
Yes,
And
exactly.
they are close to, I think, 25,000 employees working with them, right? So the overall timeline has decreased, and I think the pace of recruitment has continuously been increasing. What used to happen in 30 years previously, as is now happening in 5 years, right? What used to, I mean, the amount of talent available for job were very less, right? We used to see people starting their job from a company and they used to stay for a very longer period of time, right?
Throughout the
Because
life, even
throughout the
even
life,
even
yeah,
throughout the life.
because the opportunities were not available,
Yeah.
and maybe they were very smart, but because of the lack of the opportunities, they have to contend with what they were having. But now the era has changed. Uh, India is evolving. The talent of India is evolving at a very fast pace, and those days are gone when uh, India was said to be a back office place for most of the companies. Now we are called the innovators, right? We are innovating a lot of things out of India. So, I mean, more the innovation happens and the more the pace of talent will continuously go up.
Yes. Could you please share some of the significant changes you have observed
Mhm.
in talent acquisition, executive research, particularly in IT and non-IT sector?
Correct. So, I think IT has seen a good paradigm shift, and that's what I was talking about. Digitization is the key. I mean, every company wants to go digital, right? We ourselves want everything on our phone, right? We stopped using hard cash. We have phone pay, right? We have Google Pay or other wallets which are available. So I think most of the company in IT sector or even in non-IT sectors are trying to embrace technology at a faster pace, because technology not only help you to be more efficient, it also helps you to be fast, right? So even if it's a non-tech companies, let's say a few of the pharma companies who are trying to hire a leader, they always look at people who have the knack for the technology, who believe कि maybe I'm not a tech guy, but I will be the first one to embrace technologies whenever it comes my way. In fact, recruitment also, I think back in 2008 and 10, most of the recruitment was happening or most of the hiring were happening physically, right? We used to go for an interview, used to meet people and do the interview. Now things have changed drastically. We have AR, augmented reality, we have, VR for a lot of assessments. We are using AI for assessment to be less biased. Lot of data modeling, lot of predictive modeling is happening to ensure that right talents are being hired. So most of the company are going upshift and trying to embrace technology, and the purpose of that is to be fast and sharp in what they're doing.
How do you ensure the accuracy of the data that you are verifying during this process?
Mm-hmm.
And what are the strategies that you use to ensure that right candidate is placed at the right place at right time?
Yeah, I think I always talk about it. Data is the crude oil. Data is not the oil; it's the crude oil, and you need to refine it well.
Yes.
The better you refine it, the more would be the efficiency of the system which you are working on. So when we talk about a leadership hiring, uh, the most important thing is we do multiple level of assessment at our end. It can be psychometric assessment which we run. It could be few tests which we provide them on the skills which they are working. We ourselves have embraced a lot of technologies on AI which help us in doing a lot of assessments. So before proposing any candidates at the leadership level to our end customer, we ensure at least we do 2 to 3 level of filtering at our level, at our side, and then we also try to look at the references. Let's say I'm trying to hire X, and I may know 10 more people who have worked with X. Maybe X, that person is amazing in terms of the work wise, but how about his ethics? How about integrity? These things, it's very difficult to judge doing an assessment. So we do a lot of reference check for that also. And post all those validation is done, then only we propose a candidate to our customers. Also, recruiting is also not only about identifying the right candidate for the my customers or for my client. It's also about ensuring that I propose the right candidates. I mean, I give the right opportunity to the right candidate. And for that, what we do when we get an assignment from our customers, we do multiple level of iterations with our customers also, wherein we do calibration call, we understand the job description, we provide the market mapping, we tell them how the talent landscape looks like, and then we identify the right opportunity and put it to the our candidates also. So it's a two-way game. It's not just about being focused to the our clients or the employers, but it's also about ensuring that the right candidates get the right opportunity.
Okay. What innovations you are trying to bring in your
Mhm.
startup,
Mhm.
and how ready you are for that?
If you're not evolving, you will die, right? So evolution is the most important thing, and innovation is an important part of evolution. If you're not innovating, it's very difficult for you to evolve. I think today we are in an era of technology, and I think if we look at recruiting industry, this is one industry which has not been disrupted a lot using technology. I mean, look at how the consumer segments used to be, right? We used to go to physical shops and used to buy things, and then Flipkart and other players came and they changed the game, right? How the fintech company came and they changed the game of hard cash to everything on phone. But that kind of evolution has not happened a lot on the recruiting side. So I think this is one area wherein we are working a lot on. So few of the evolution or few of the innovations which we are continuously working on is AI based tech assessments. Why AI based tech assessment, Priti, is it's important for us to know that human can be biased. Human can be biased to an interview, but when it's a machine who is doing the interview, we can reduce the biasness. I'm not saying we can completely remove it, but we can reduce the biasness. We human get fatigued taking a lot of interviews a day, and that also creates biasness which we call fatigue biasness. Let's say I ask somebody to do 10 interviews a day, and by the time he reaches to the 11th interview, he'll say, I'm tired. I don't care what kind of person is coming.
He may miss the right
He may
candidate.
miss the right candidate,
Yes,
right?
true.
So I think AI based technical evaluation is helping us a lot. We are investing a lot on that. We have been running lot of pilot projects wherein you have a AI who is going to take your interview, and they are so cognitive. They will understand your answer, then they will process it, and they will again dig in deep to you to answer that now to give you questions. Let's say I am trying to hire a finance guy. You know, I said I want the finance guy to be strong on accounting, strong on book holdings and other things, right? And I feed the AI about multiple questions in and around accounts. So the AI will not only be a great listener. So let's say he asks one question around accounting, and that person answers. Then again, it will probe, and continuously this probing happens. So I think with the help of machine learning, with the help of artificial intelligence, the tech assessment is evolving at a very fast pace, and that is helping us to give a very well documented evaluation or assessments, or the complete evaluation form which is coming. That's the one part, I think, AI based tech assessment. The second thing which we are continuously working on is how efficiently we can use our data. Like you were talking about, how do you ensure that the data is validated? It's very important in today's era. You do 100 good things, and one place you portray a data which was not efficient, it creates a lot of wrong impact for you. So we are continuously creating an ecosystem. We are creating an infrastructure so that we can keep refining our data, and our data is our candidates, the pool which we continuously build in last 20 years, and trying to keep them engaged rather than going again back to market. Let's say I have been in the industry for last 20 years. Somebody whom I placed in 2004, he was a 4-year guy. Now he's a leader somewhere, right?
Yes.
Such an important person for me now. If I'm able to reutilize that data using my technology, I think my productivity is going to increase, and this also increases the credibility, because let's say I place that person to a company and say I know that person personally because I know him for last 20 years. So reutilization of data, we are investing a lot on how we can involve assessments to be less biased towards the system is something which we are working on.
So, Mr. Rakesh, now coming to technology, we are talking about technology and utilization of technology. Do you think you are going to remove humanization or human interference? To what extent you are contributing towards technology, and how much is the human, or only on the back end? What is it all about?
So I think it's a $1 billion question, and this is a question which is there in today's era in everyone's mind. Is AI going to take my job? Right? I'll go back when industrial revolution started. When industrial revolution started and machine started taking a lot of job from laborers, we started feeling, look, we are done. Everything will be done by machine. So normally, what happened whenever any evolution happen, or any new revolution which comes? I'll tell you. In 1990s, I remember I had a neighbor, and his father was in bank, and he was a bank manager, and he was dead scared because there was a computer which came to their bank, and they started feeling, now my job will go, right? So any see, machine cannot take anyone's job. Machine is there to ease job and make the system more efficient. So when computer came to, let's say, when we talk about banks, it did not reduce the job in the banks. I mean, if you see today, because of those machines, people are doing more transactions. So normally what happens, if you look at the graph, initially it may see a dip. The AI or in any kind of such revolution may see a dip, but at the same time they start creating new jobs in the market.
True.
Right? Something new which has not happened. Coming back to us, yes, machine will take lot of jobs which is very mundane, which does not require lot of human involvement. Like if I have to send emails to 100 people, if I give it to a human, it may take 10 minutes to complete it. I automate it on my machine. It can be done in a fraction of a second. It's a very mundane job, right? wherever innovation is required, wherever human touch is required, that job cannot go, or we are not going to remove that also. So I'll give you a classic example. Let's say I got 50,000 resume for a job application. If I want my recruiters to work on those 50,000 resume, they will take maybe a month's time to complete everything. What I'll do, all the 50,000 resume, I'll send them an automatic assessment, right? The first round of assessment will happen through my tool. And then this 50,000 can be lowered down to 10,000. Then I can do a psychometric assessment again through my tool.
Yes.
And then it can reduce to 5,000. But these 5,000 still I want my recruiters to talk.
True.
So it's increasing the efficiency of recruiting. It's not going to reduce the number of people who are involved. But I feel what will happen, human will be more available to do more innovations and will not be involved in the mundane work, right? Which, I mean, anyone can do, which can be done by machine. So yeah, I think wherever innovation is required, wherever creativity is required, we always have human in our company. Wherever we see that this can be done by machine more efficiently, we are using machine for that.
Okay. So, what are the practices that in your company you follow to stay ahead in this fast evolving recruitment industry and with so much of competition? So, it's not only the one
Yes.
application, we
Yes.
have many other coming up.
Correct.
So, what are the practices and what are the
So I think, like we have been talking about, how fast you learn, unlearn, and relearn is the core of Zyoin. We do 100 things and we fail in 90 of them. But it's not important that we are failing. It's important what is our learning which we are getting from 90 failures which we have done. So at Zyoin, we always believe that our learning, unlearning process should be very fast. We are very efficient in that. So what looked like an amazing product today, if it has not worked out today and we feel it will not work out, we'll start working on plan B. So I think we pivot very fast. We are able to do that. And as a business entrepreneur, Preeti, it's important that how fast you converse when the time is there and how fast you diverse. So I'll tell you, when we started seeing that in 2022, we saw a good surge of recruiting which was happening across the world, and we very fast diverged our line of businesses. So when we were doing one line of business at Zyoin, we diverged it to 6 different line of businesses very fast, and that's where we got a knack from all our competitors, right? And again in 2023, we started seeing the market is going slow down. We again converged. So these 6 line of businesses, we reduced it to 4 line of business.
Okay.
So that this kind of evolution, the faster you do, you always stay ahead of the curve. And the important thing is anything which is new happening in the market, how fast you embrace those things. So if you talk about 2020, no one was talking about EV, electric vehicles, and no one was talking about electric vehicle hiring. We started preparing our team members from that time for EV hiring. And when in 2022 we got our first project to work on EV, I think most of our competitors were thinking how to start it now, and we were prepared for that. So staying ahead of curve, knowing the market, understanding what new technologies are coming, how fast you are ready to learn, unlearn your things, I think is the best way forward to run an organization.
Okay, Rakesh, if you would like to share any of the challenges that you faced during this journey.
Sure. So when the COVID hit, after that, the biggest problem for us was how we are going to work, which was there with most of the organizations, right? And what we did before even the lockdown was announced, we announced remote work, and we were ahead of curve in that also. So we were the first company among all our competitors who started working from home. And we had repercussion also of that, wherein a lot of people started, why you have done it, no one is doing it, you should wait for the market. And we did it, and that helped us. And During the COVID time, we have grown by 400%. And we started hiring from different part of the world. We have currently people working from 70 different locations for us in India. We have offices in Bangalore, we have offices in Hyderabad, and we have people working from our client locations in Pune, Mumbai, Noida. And when you grow phenomenal, I think one of the biggest challenge internally which you face is the cultural shift. You know, when you are small, you know how to keep the team well knitted, and it was very important because leaders were talking and the voice was heard till everyone because the team was small. But once we grow up the ladder, or once the team become big, I think there was a big cultural shift which happened inside the organization, and that was one of the biggest challenge for us. What we did at that point of time is that we started couple of programs inside Zyoin. One of the program we called Zyoin Cultural Ambassador,
Okay.
wherein we started bringing people not from the top, but from the mid and lower level to be our cultural ambassadors. And they started talking about our culture. See, when I go and talk about my cultural, being a cultural ambassador, see, I'm the co-founder of the company. They'll feel, of course, you have to talk good about your company. But when my people started talking about, when my people become my eyes, ear, and mouth, and they started talking about that, we have seen a great shift in the way people started believing in what we were doing. So, just to answer it, yeah, I think we have seen a big cultural shift when we started growing, and it took good amount of time for us to realize, although we solved that problem in due course of time, to start making people believe what we are doing, what are our aspirations, and where do we want to reach from here. In terms of I think competition, there is always external competition. There always you see market saturations which happen. But as a founder, you need to be have. I always say you need to have a amazing tensile strength. You know, and tensile strength is nothing. You can bend, but you'll not break, right? So we have we culturally has a very strong tensile strength. We always bend when we are not doing right things, but we don't move away from our core values, so we never break, right? So that has always helped us.
Would you like to give any message to the young entrepreneurs?
Yeah, definitely. I think would love to do that. The first thing is I'm still in the process of learning, you know, and that's the first message. As an entrepreneur, you are always in a process of learning. So uh, keep learning new things. I think the faster you learn, unlearn, and relearn, the better you take decisions. I think an entrepreneur need to have a biggest heart in the company. If you are running a company, you need to have a biggest heart because you take sometimes really bold decisions and you have to stick to that. Uh, Whenever you're starting something, do a good research. You know, take good 6 8 months of time for yourself. Do a good market research about what you want to do, and then see how does it fit in the market, right? And if you see there is a good market fit, start working on that. I think you really need to be very resilient. A founder does everything. You know, we remember our early days wherein we have, when there's to be no power in our office, we used to go and switch on the generators also, right? And we used to fill the water can also when the water was not there. So you need to roll up your sleeves and do everything required to make sure you run an organization. Trust me, life of an entrepreneur is not easy. It may look very fancy as a word that you're the founder or you're the co-founder of the company, but it takes a lot of blood and sweat to run an organization. And most important thing is when no one is believing in you, believe in yourself.
Thank you, Rakesh. Thank
My
you for
pleasure.
such insights. And whenever we see any entrepreneur, we understand that how much hardship he has
Yes,
gone through to become so successful. So thank you very much for your
my
time.
pleasure. Yeah.
And
Thank you so much.
thank you. And with that, we hope we have brought you closer to the understanding how innovation and technology can change how things are done in the best. So, as we wrap this episode, GIBS IRE Talks podcast, Please remember to stay innovative and embrace your entrepreneurial ideas. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe our channel at GIBS Business School, Bangalore. Follow us at GIBS IRE Talks and GIBS Business School in all social media handles and stay updated on the news and updates regularly. I'm Dr. Preeti, your host, signing off to the day. IRE Talks powered by GIBS Business School, where innovation meets inspiration.